They knocked on her door at 10 a.m. Before she opened her eyes, she prayed it wasn't them. The same prayer she said every time the doorbell would ring between 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. Every day since her son was stationed across seas to liberate a war-torn nation. Faced with daily uncertainty, knowing that any day his life could cease because a return trip home for a soldier is never guaranteed. Still, a mother should never watch her son rest in peace. But every day he's away, the heavier becomes the weights weighing down on her soul when she doesn't see his face. She only gets one phone call every 2 weeks, which she faithfully waits for patiently every Wednesday. It's the only way she's assured her son's okay. She sat by the phone for the entire day till Wednesday came and it went. For the first time since he said goodbye, she did not get that call. She knew at that moment something was wrong. She felt it in her heart that something just wasn't right. It bothered her so much that she barely slept that night. She tried to force those thoughts out of her head, but it was no use. She kept tossing and turning in her bed. Deep down inside, she knew her son was dead, but tried to convince herself that she was just overreacting instead. But that morning, walking to the door was the hardest. She saw through her blinds the casualty notification officers. The tears started to uncontrollably stream from her eyes. Right there in the doorway, she began to cry, "Lord, no, why? As she slowly opened the door to hear the officer say, "Ma'am, the Secretary of the Army has asked me to express his deep regret that your son was killed in action in Iraq on October 10th, 2008. A body matching your..." She heard nothing else after the word kill. She suddenly felt extremely ill. No, this can't be real. Even though inside she already knew the deal. It was the hardest news she ever had to bear. She wished the Lord would just take her life right there. It finally came true, her worst nightmare, at which time the chaplain offered to say a prayer. Her body goes numb. She steps away from the door. Her last words were, "My son." And then she collapsed onto the floor.